Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 237 of the show. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Joel Campos, and joining me is the man with the big white water bottle, John Hanson.
It's gray, but that works. I
It
like
looks
it.
white. Oh, I
It
can see
stays.
it looks more gray now that it's closer.
It uh, it keeps things cold, so I can have a lot of water. I like it. It was also very expensive. It was like $35 for that.
Nice. I have a pretty big one. I don't know where it is. I haven't drank any water today. I drink a lot of seltzer water. So
Well, that's why you're coughing so much.
I don't think that is why.
That's 100% why you're coughing so much.
But I have a
What?
big water
What?
bottle like that. What I was gonna say is I have a big water bottle like that, and I just have so many stickers on it. And I bought a bunch of new stickers at a street fair last weekend that I'm gonna put on it.
I don't have stickers, so there's nothing on it. What is seltzer? I have no idea what
It's
seltzer.
just sparkling. So it's basically like flavored water that has carbonation in it. That's all it is.
Mm.
Like reading the thing: calories 0, total fat 0, sodium 0, carbs 0, sugar 0. It's basically just a flavored water that is
Mm.
carbonated in a can.
Never been a big fan of flavored water myself, but
So the reason I started drinking them is because I wanted to stop drinking as much pop like a
mm,
few years ago, and we bought these from Costco and we just fell in love with them. So
mm.
it's like a good substitute for drinking a bunch of pop, I would say.
I bought I bought one of those pitchers that has a filter in the top, so you
Yeah,
just
like
put
a
that
Brita.
water and it filters it up. That might be what it is, yeah. And I love that thing. It's definitely helped me drink more water. I don't drink a lot of pop anyway, and I don't drink beer. So even when I'm not drinking water, it's only like lemonade and various juices that I drink. So
Gotcha. But yeah, we're gonna talk about video games this week. As always, you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out our pin tweet there to join the Discord server. Sorry, my voice sounds really weird to me because my coughing all week and stuff is it's been
mm,
weird, but um yeah, join our Discord server. There's a link there. Subscribe to us on YouTube by searching for Pixel Street videos over there. We'd love to have you. Come hang out. We stream live every Wednesday or Thursday night is when we stream the show live. So yeah.
more often Thursday lately.
Yeah, lately Thursday. I did text Will to see if he wanted to be on the show today, but
But he hates us.
no, he's still working. He was supposed to get out a few hours ago. So yeah, maybe he'll join us next week.
Man, look at Will, always choosing his job over his best friends.
Yeah, what a guy. Let's just get right into it, John. Do you want to start? You want to read these because I got a cough.
All right. So there's no big news in the gaming industry right now. Let's just be honest. We've got some quick news to go over later, but I just threw out a couple ideas for some main topics. This week, let's start off with what games you want to get a remake the most. Pretty simple discussion. We all have a video game from our past that we want to see make a comeback. What game, what games do you want to see make a comeback in a remake? Not just a remaster, because those are lazy. And while they're mostly good, I'm talking like a full remake from the ground up. Boom. This thing is totally reinvented these days. We already have a comment from Brandon Addison in our YouTube chat who says Dino Crisis, which I'm sure a lot of Capcom fans from the 90s would agree with.
Like, remember what was the show we watched a few months ago where you thought it was going to be a Dino Crisis, but then
Exoprimal.
it was Exoprimal, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which apparently some people really like that. And
Yeah, it came out like last week, right?
yeah, so I've played a little bit of it. Me and Kenny played a few sessions, and it's a 5 out of 10 game for me. It's just fine. But apparently some people really like it. It is a very good game to just try on Game Pass. So but yeah, Dino Crisis is definitely a popular one. I've never played it, but from what I understand, it is essentially Resident Evil but with dinosaurs. Um yeah, that's a very good shout out. Joel, do you have any in mind?
Um, I literally just had one and I lost it, but here's another one, Diddy Kong Racing.
That's a good
I
one.
love Diddy Kong Racing, so I would love to see that get remade.
Yeah, especially since Rare and well, Microsoft and Nintendo are okay with like kind of working close together now. It would be very interesting to see them make a comeback. We still have no idea what's happening to Everwild, which was Rare's game that they showed off in like 2018 and they indefinitely delayed it in like 2019. Um, but yeah, I would love to see a Diddy Kong Racing remake. Um, for me, the one I always point to is The Simpsons Hit and Run. Uh, actually, this week there was a fan who was
There was a news article about it.
yeah, a fan was remaking it himself. I think we talked about it like a year ago, but
Yeah, we did.
he actually finished it, but he can't release it or anything. So, but it looks great, and I would really love to play it. I think because the thing with that game is it's essentially Grand Theft Auto, but with The Simpsons. Um, the driving missions and just driving around Springfield was awesome. Like that was the highlight of that game. The on foot stuff wasn't that great. It was kind of slow, kind of clunky. I think if a remake went in and like actually tweaked that and made the characters move a little faster, maybe jump a little higher, kind of work on the environments and everything, I think that game would be excellent to play again these days. Did you remember the one you were thinking of?
Yeah, it was Rush 2 for the
Ooh,
N64. I love that. It's like such a dumb, simple arcade racing game, but I love that game so much. They had a
yeah,
it was called Stunt Track, I believe, and it basically just had a bunch of ramps and stuff, and you would gather score based on like how many flips and stuff you could land. It was just a car racing game. It was so dumb, but me and my friends loved it. I would love to see that come back.
that is a good game. Um, trying to think of like Xbox 360 era games. Like I could just throw out BioShock, but I much rather see BioShock 4 before a remake of the first one again. Um, trying to think. Brandon in the chat says Army Men, and that is a game series I have not thought of in a very long time.
I don't even know
Um,
what that is.
they're like the green army men from like Toy Story. They
Oh,
made
okay.
they made games for those. It's not the Toy Story ones, it's just regular green
Yeah,
army
yeah.
men. If I remember right, they were like third person shooters. And
Yeah,
you would
this
just
looks
like
like a third person shooter. It looks so
you
generic.
yeah, you would go around shooting like gray or brown army men. Been a
I mean,
very long time.
this guy's just running around shooting like boxes and stuff. There's a
Gotcha.
tank. Yeah, army men.
hmm You got any more? Because I'm struggling. I didn't think about
Let's think like I don't know, 360 games, right?
The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Although I don't necessarily want a new remake of that. I want them to port the 3DS version to Switch, which I think is the best version of that game. Sorry, what were you saying?
I would love to see like a Halo 3 remake.
That would be good. Halo 3 is still my favorite.
Like
I
in like and the thing is like it still kind of holds up, right? Like it's not like super dated, but I think that it could at least use an uplift like how they did Halo 2 Anniversary.
mhm. um one that I've called for before, uh Twisted Metal 1 and 2. Those games just got added to PS5 via the PSN Premium subscription, I
I
think.
don't know.
And yeah, I played the first one for a little bit, and oh boy, is that game rough. I mean, it was rough when it released back in the day, but it is really rough now.
Hey,
Twisted Metal
Twisted
2.
Twisted Metal show now streaming on Peacock, John.
Yeah, I know. I gotta watch it. Is it the full series or just one episode?
I don't know. I can look.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll be giving that a try.
I think
Uh,
I'm legitimately gonna watch an episode tonight. I think just out of curiosity.
I will probably be too busy tonight, but maybe when I go to bed, I'll watch some. Brandon threw out some more Red Dead remake. Uh, if he's specifically talking about Red Dead Redemption and not Red Dead Revolver, that game has been it's getting a remaster at least. I'm not sure if it's a full remake, but Red Dead Redemption is getting a re-release at the end
So
of this
all 10 episodes of the first season are on Peacock, and it
year.
looks
Gotcha.
like every episode's about 30 minutes long. So
Hmm.
should be a pretty easy watch.
Gotcha. He also threw out Resident Evil remake. I'm assuming he's talking about the first game, which I don't think. So I've heard that before, and I think the GameCube remake still holds up well enough that I'd rather see other Resident Evil games get a remake first, like Code Veronica or Zero. Um,
You think even with all the new remakes that they've been doing,
yeah. I'm
you
not
think the
saying I.
GameCube one holds up enough?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's not the greatest game ever. It could definitely use a remake. I'm just saying I want to see those other games get brought back first because those ones have gotten no love. But I mean, either way,
It is kind of funny to me that, like, in terms of Resident Evil, Capcom's just like, you know what? We're not even gonna try and make new Resident Evil games. We're just gonna remake all of our
they
old ones.
do. They do though. We
What
just
what
had
what new one?
we
Oh
just
yeah,
had
yeah. Oh, eight, right?
yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. No, I really Capcom is killing it with Resident Evil lately. Like both the remakes and the new games are okay. Not all of the new games. The multiplayer stuff that they have tried out sucks. It's bad. But everything else they're doing really
I can't
good.
wait till it gets to a point to where it's like, all right, well now we have to remake seven, even though it's only been out for 4 years,
Right, yeah.
because we
We've
have a
got to
studio dedicated to making these remakes.
yeah, we've got to remake these in third person and then they have to go back and they do all of the third person games in
It,
first person.
it's like when Game of Thrones the show passed the books.
Yeah, right.
That's what's gonna happen.
Eventually they'll bring back the Game Boy game. What was it? Gaiden, I think. Resident Evil
You know,
Gaiden.
I have no idea. I'm
It,
too much of a big baby to play those games.
it,
Indigo
I,
Prophecy, Brandon says in the chat. I'm looking this up.
that is Fahrenheit 9/11, I think is what it's called in Europe.
Fair.
That's a David Cage game, and I mean, it's heavy rain, but I've seen some weird stuff about that game. Haven't played it
Heavy
myself
Rain,
though.
but PS2.
Essentially,
Oh man, I clicked through it and there was just a little kid, and little kids in video games are creepy sometimes.
yeah. From what I've seen, like that little kid has like the answer to the meaning of life, and she dies at one point, and you meet this old lady who's the internet personified. It's got some weird stuff to it.
Brandon, maybe something shouldn't be remade.
Yeah, I've got one that definitely should though because I've been calling for it forever. Burnout 3, please bring it back. I want Burnout 3 Takedown to make a comeback.
You know what game I haven't thought about in a long time? I never really played Burnout, but I played a lot of Stuntman on the 360. I think it was Ignition.
Is that the Vin Diesel game?
No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, no. Stuntman Ignition was just like the whole premise of the game is that you were playing as a stuntman and you had to go do all these stunts. Like in cars, on motorcycles.
I was thinking of Wheelman. That's the game with Vin Diesel.
But yeah, Stuntman was me and my friend. I don't know why, but we played the shit out of this Stuntman Ignition when it came out on 360. It was a fun time.
Ignition. I gotta look. Yeah, I've definitely never played that.
There was another one, Full Auto, on the 360. It was I would love to see this make a comeback. It's basically just had cars with guns on them,
Mm-hmm.
and you would, as you were racing, you could just shoot cars in front of you, which was pretty interesting, but also like not that much fun because I literally was the only one that had it. Like I didn't
I'd
have any
also,
friends that owned it or anything.
I'd also like to see Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first one, make a comeback. I really enjoyed that game at the beginning of the 360 days. I know it got a remaster like in 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. But I'd like to see like a full remake where they kind of like shore up the combat sections of the game, make it feel a little better. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know. I'm trying to think of what else. What other remakes could we
there's
have?
got to be so many. I'm trying to think of like PS1 and N64 days now because I love those games so much. I already said Twisted Metal. We already got Spyro. We already got Crash. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see Mega Man Legends make a comeback. Uh,
I
I've
know
never
nothing
played it,
about that.
but I know it's just 3D Mega Man. I know people love those games, and they're like so mad that the third one never came out. um, yeah, okay, that's about all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got too. I
We're
can't
just
think of
losing
anything.
random stuff here. Remakes are always releasing out of the wazoo, so at least one that we just listed will come out at some point.
Probably.
All right, moving on here. According to Ubisoft, Star Wars Outlaws won't be a 300-hour unfinishable epic RPG. Joel, when you hear this news, does this make you more excited or less excited for the game?
Kind of indifferent. Like because when I think of the 300-hour unfinishable epic RPG, I think of like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that I don't think is necessarily unfinishable. I think it depends on what you the player wants to do, right? Like if you want to go and do everything, then yeah, it's unfinishable. But if you want to play the story, it's probably like 60, 65 hours. And in that sense, like I would love if this Star Wars game had just had so much content to where it was like, yeah, if you want to do everything, it's going to take you 300 hours. Like I think that'd be really fucking cool. Because for me personally, I'm not necessarily a person that feels the need to do everything in every game I play. So being overwhelmed with stuff to do, I think, is a good thing sometimes. Um, because for me, like, I don't need to do everything. Whereas, like, if this was a Halo game, because I love Halo so much, and it was 300 hours, that would be kind of a buzzkill to me because I'm going to want to do everything in the game because I'm a
Mm-hmm.
huge Halo fan. Like, I'm a Star Wars fan, but, like, I don't feel the need to do everything in every Star Wars game that comes out.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but this game really impressed me at its non E3 showing. Um, it is a game I want to play, and hearing that it's not this gigantic game that requires you to devote your soul to it, that does make me excited, more excited than I was, because I don't want to invest my whole life into a Star Wars game, because they have said that this is an open world game, right?
I'm not 100% sure.
I want to say that they did. I want to say that it's confirmed to be open world. With that in mind, of course, you're probably, I don't know. Is I also wonder, when they say open world, do they mean that this is going to be a game that only takes place on one planet, or are you going to be traveling between planets? I feel like it has to be the latter if it's a Star Wars game, right?
I think so because I think at the end of the trailer, the gameplay trailer, she gets in a ship and leaves, right?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. They do show ship sections. So yeah, it will be multiple planets and areas to go to. I don't know. On one hand, I kind of would prefer the Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor method where you're going to these planets and it's kind of just straightforward. I am interested to see just like how the gameplay itself uh, facilitates an open world game without laws. Because if I'm just going to be, you're playing a person with no force powers. If I'm just going to be like running around and at normal speed, sometimes getting like those glider bike things, like, okay, that's
I'm
cool. But
That's the thing. I have a feeling there's going to be some really cool gadgets that you use that
mhm.
make up for the fact that you don't have the force, right?
Yeah. Well, that's my
Eh,
thing. Is just I hope that there is plenty of those, so I don't feel like I'm just running through empty areas all the time. I want to have different things to get me from point A to point B in a fast method.
Yeah, I mean, I would honestly be happy if this was like content wise the same as Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, because like Jedi Survivor, I didn't play too much of it because like it was kind of buggy at launch, and I just put it to the side to play other things. Um, but I do plan on going back to it, and that game was beautiful, and like it is like kind of linear in a way. Like you can choose what planet you go to when, you can explore wherever you want on these planets. And each planet does have a fairly like large area for you to explore, right? Like it's not just like a linear. It's not like yeah, I guess it's not like Halo 3 or something where there's one path for you to go and that's it, right? Like you
Mhm.
can go explore. There's a bunch of side quests and stuff. So if it was something like that, I think that would still be really cool. I don't think it
Yeah,
necessarily needs like a massive open world in every destination you go
yeah. I
for
think
it to be good.
I think Ubisoft did a really good job of nailing down showing off the characters and their personalities in the reveal of it. Uh, I have a lot of questions though about how that game is going to play. Um, I don't know. It looks great though. Like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fan, and I want to give it a try because um, the characters looked much more interesting than Star Wars characters usually do to me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we have a lot of big games coming out soon, and like open world, like single player ones too. Like we got Starfield just around the corner too, and I'm stoked to try that out.
Yeah, uh,
Come on,
I've wanted.
John, I got the headset. I have to be excited.
Yeah, I'm just talking about me. I wish I could be more excited for Starfield. I'm just not. I don't know what it is. I know a lot of people are pumped. They're like, "Oh, this is going to be my game of the year," and I'm like, it will exist, and I'll probably play quite a bit of it, but I don't know if I want to invest a bunch of time doing like side stuff. I don't want to explore planets. I don't want to scan wildlife. It's not my thing. But I don't know. Hopefully, I'll play it when it comes out, and I'll be just blown away, and I'll be like, okay, I gotta play more. I need more of this. Who knows? All right, let's get on into some quick news here. A Payday 3 beta is happening next week. Next week on Xbox and Steam. Joel, are you gonna play it?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know what days it's on. Maybe
It's like August 2nd to the 7th. I want to say.
yeah, maybe
Uh,
I'll download it.
yeah. I think I can wait for the game to fully come out. I don't unless it carries over any progress you made. I hate when games give you a beta, give you early access, and then just delete all your progress. I'm like, no, that makes
I
me
mean,
not want to touch the beta and
that's
stuff.
why I say maybe. Like if the thing that would get me to download it is if like you, Kenny, and Loops were like, "Hey, let's play a round to check it out." I would download it
Hmm.
just for that. I'm not gonna sit there and play it for 5 hours. You know what I mean? Because like you said, everything most likely is gonna get stripped away from you. So there's really no point in playing more than one or two matches.
Yeah. And yeah, I didn't play a ton of Payday 2. Probably played like a total of like 3 or 4 hours. This game has been a long time coming, and I just don't know if it's gonna really have. I don't know if there's gonna be enough innovation there to like really be like, oh, this game's
Yeah,
amazing.
I feel like Payday 2 had it kinda down, right? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know outside of new
where
maps and maybe some new weapons, I don't know what else they could do to change the game.
yeah, what can you really add to that formula? Especially when we're starting to see more and more of these heist games come out, like that one Ubisoft showed, and there was another, there was an EA one I want to say as well. So like, there's just quite a bit of these. Uh, 40 million PlayStation 5s have been sold, and that is nearly double that of the Xbox Series X and S. With both of those consoles, Microsoft, even though they don't really give out numbers reports, they recently tweeted out something along the lines of there's been 21 million Xbox consoles released. That's not a surprise at all. We all know that PlayStation is going to just drastically outsell the Xbox consoles pretty much for all time. Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2 has been announced. It's coming out later this year. It's adding Squidward and Jimmy Neutron as well as a story mode. Are you going to give this a try, Joel?
This is weird,
This is
right?
very like when did the
When did the
first
fir
one come out?
That's what
Was
I
it a
was
year
gonna
ago?
ask. I don't
Like
know.
I didn't watch any trailer if they released one. I just looked at screenshots and I was looking at it. I'm like, this is just the first game. Like I'm
Alright,
not seeing
so
any
it
massive like
came out
improvement.
the first one came out October 5th, 2021.
Okay, so
So,
2 years.
about 2 years ago, but also, like you said, I when I saw the video on Twitter, I was like, "Is this a joke?" Like, I thought that it was, like, a Twitter account making a joke that they're announcing a second game, but really it's
Mhm.
just DLC, when really, it looks like that should have just been DLC added to the first game.
Yeah, for sure. Like it's cool that they added Squidward. Whatever, you got to throw him in because you got SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy in there. It was so weird that they had Jimmy Neutron's dad in there, but not Jimmy Neutron. So cool, bring him in for the sequel. And then there's a story mode, which okay, cool. Like I'm glad, but it from what I've seen, it's just I think I saw stages that I remembered from the first game, as well as I would imagine all the characters from before are coming
It's
back.
so weird, man.
It's very weird. Like, just announce that you're redoing the game or something, like, and adding more content. It doesn't make sense to make a sequel. All right, The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons is now on the Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy library. Both games are very good. If you like Game Boy games, be sure to download them and give them a try. They do. When you beat one, you'll get a code that you can input into the other, and it will kind of bridge the gap between them. It's really cool.
What hold on, what does that mean? What do you mean bridge the gap?
So they're not directly made to go one and they're not directly made like ages is first and seasons is second. You can choose which one you want to play first. And when you do that and put in the code, you could like get I think you get some content from the one you played as well as it like kind of like sets up the story a little bit. I've never done it myself. I went through and beat Ages last year, and I took a picture of my code, and I'm gonna use it on there to see exactly how that does. So maybe I'll
Cool.
talk about it next week.
Yeah, let me know. That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah. Ubisoft have reportedly canceled the sequel to Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I'm sure there's some people that are really disappointed by this, but after playing that game last year, I'm okay with it. I did not need to see a sequel to that.
It was kinda just like Assassin's Creed Light, right? Like, it was
It was kind
like
of
toddler's first Assassin's Creed game.
they were definitely trying to replicate Breath of the Wild with it, and it wasn't bad by any means, but I don't think it was nearly as amazing as some people were saying. Like some people were throwing out there, "Oh, this is better than Breath of the Wild." I'm like, I played through it. I'm like, nah. I was very ready for that game to be over with. The dungeons weren't anything good. The traversal was fun because you could like fly around on with a I can't remember the guy that flew too close to the sun. Daedalus, is that his name?
I
Whatever.
don't remember.
Yeah, it was. it was fine, but I'm completely fine without a sequel. CD Projekt Red have laid off around 100 people because they are overstaffed, and I mean, this sucks. There's so many layoffs this year. I was laid off from my job, and plus we've all heard constant stories of layoffs. These companies have money. They could have kept these people employed. It's not like they're downsizing after releasing a game, unless these are like, when's the Cyberpunk DLC coming out?
I think in September or October.
Okay, yeah, maybe that's why they're doing it then, because they're getting close to releasing that. But like,
Well, so they did say that like of these 100 people, some of them so they're announcing it all now, but some of them are aware that their job is not being terminated until like later in the year.
mm, gotcha.
Because like they're trying to like make good on it by being like, hey, we have to let these people go, but we're going to give them time to like figure out their next move while they finish up their respective projects here. And
That,
also, this was only 9% of the company,
yeah,
100 people, which is like that's a big game development studio.
yeah. We've always known that they were big though. Especially if they're making Witcher 4 plus Cyberpunk. Plus, aren't they making another game right now? I could be wrong about that. Whatever. It sucks. Hope those guys find a new working situation soon. Last up on quick news here, High on Life is now on PlayStation. I actually went back and finished this game recently. I don't know if I
Nice.
talked about it on the podcast. Um, yeah, and I still kind of maintain my. I know you really enjoyed it. You found it really funny, and I just was kind of like kind of like with Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm like, I'm ready for this game to be over. It did make me go back and get caught up on Rick and Morty though, so that was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
My best friend's brother works on that show.
yeah, you've told me that.
I've never
All
watched it.
right, because you don't like supporting your best friend's brother.
Yeah, exactly.
You hate his guts. All right, Joel, do you have any collectibles to show off? I have nothing. I'm a broke boy.
No, I do
I'm a
not
broke
have
bitch.
anything. Nothing new on my end.
All right, then tell me about Ace Combat 7.
So last week on the show, me and Will talked about streaming Ace Combat 7 on Sunday. I've been sick, and like Sunday was like really bad for me. Like I was coughing a shit ton. So I didn't stream, but I still pulled down the old flight stick, which is on the table behind me. And I did boot up Ace Combat 7, and I played like 3 or 4 missions. Um, that game's fun. Like, I don't know, just it's very like to the point, I guess, in terms of like this is your mission, this is what you're gonna do. Like, the bad guys are coming from this way. I haven't gotten too in depth with the story yet, but there is kind of like a little side story going on where it's like there was this woman who loved aviation because of her dad, I believe, and her grandpa, and she built like her own ship pretty much, right? Like airplane, and took off and then got shot down because I don't know. Like I haven't gotten that far in the story. So I'm
Mm.
curious how these two things are gonna collide, right? Because like you have me being like a pilot for like an army. Yeah, no, not literally collide, but you have me being a pilot for the military of a fake country because they don't want to. A lot of video games don't like stepping on toes with army stuff,
Hmm.
so they just kind of make stuff up. Um, and and then you have this girl who was arrested for flying, and it's like two separate storylines. So I don't know at what point they're going to collide. But I mean, it's cool. I like playing with the flight stick. It's a ton of fun.
So, is this just a pretty basic like flight combat thing where it's just you're flying and then you've got like the reticle to shoot people down, and that's pretty much the entire game?
More or less, yeah. I mean, you have different missiles and stuff. You can equip different stuff to your plane to make it faster, slower. Obviously, like stronger missiles and stuff like that. I
Okay.
chose the very basic settings in terms of controls, just because
Mhm.
I would crash all the time, especially using a flight stick. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, we've all seen you play Flight Simulator. Um, okay, so it is more of a simulation kind of game rather than like an arcade style.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. Oh, that's cool. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I fly in third person. I tried going in first person and it made me like real nauseous.
Also,
Just
like you can't see anything that way, right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
all you can see is just like a ridicule pretty much. Like that's not
Hmm.
fun.
No,
I
that's
want to
not
see
fun
what's
at all.
around me.
I never understand unless someone is playing in VR in like Gran Turismo, like you did when you were doing that. I can see operating a vehicle that way in first person. But if I'm just like playing with a controller normally, I do not like playing in first person like that at all. As for oh, sorry, are you done?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
What have you been playing?
As for me, today I got a review. Ooh, actually, I need to check something real quick.
You need to. You should probably check. I'll talk about Final Fantasy 16 while you look. But I've been playing more Final Fantasy 16 because this will be pretty brief. Um, the icon battles in that game are so fucking cool. I just beat another icon last night, and it was like one of the coolest fights in the game so far. So definitely recommend keep playing, John, because
Okay.
those icon battles are really cool.
Alright.
I'm excited to keep going. I've been doing a lot of the side. I've done every side quest I've seen. I started doing all the hunts last night because you can do hunts for like different beasts and stuff in the wild. So yeah, I'm excited to keep playing.
Alright. I checked. The game came out yesterday, so I'm good. So I've been playing The Expanse, which is Telltale's first game since being shut down years ago. So I've never heard of The Expanse before. Have you?
No,
So apparently, it's a sci-fi show about these. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Scavengers. Like they go and look for wrecks and find whatever they can to sell it off and everything. Right now, they only have the first season available or first episode available. They're doing the episodic release thing like Telltale used to do. I don't really understand that thinking at all because that was kind of a wasn't that like a big reason why people were turned off by these games back in the day? Is like I'm forgetting everything I'm doing.
I honestly
Um,
don't know. I think it's all just a preference thing,
yeah.
but yeah, I don't know.
I will say this episode felt a lot shorter than all the other Telltale games I've played in the past. I like I liked those old Telltale games. I played all the Walking Dead's, played Borderlands, well the first one. Um, Batman. Like I love those games. But this one was like an hour long, and I feel like they were longer in the past.
How does it
Maybe
feel? Because
it
like they took a long time to come out with another Telltale game.
mhm,
Because like I remember they shut down, right, and then somebody bought Telltale and then
someone
reopened them.
yeah.
But
It's
like
got
it
they've
was
got the
it
same name, but it's different people, yeah.
okay, so it's a completely new team.
I wanna say that. If you wanna look it up, you can, but I wanna say it's completely new people.
Is it
Just
the same engine and everything?
no, it is definitely different. Like, the
Okay,
art style and everything is different.
that's what I wanted to
Well
know because like the old engine was real shitty, like real
mhm,
bad. I remember even on like the Xbox One, like it would just like stutter and sometimes just crash at times,
yeah.
just like freeze up. Like what is going on?
I did run into some moments where there was some bad stuttering in one particular room, like, whenever I would see something, uh, one thing I noticed about this game, there's a lot more exploration than in past Telltale games. Be you actually go to the site of this ship that's been destroyed, and you, like, look around it for, like, scavengeable items and to move the story forward. It's not like a straight shot. Like you're out in space and you can like float around and like go wherever you want. That was an interesting take. But yeah, in one particular room, I had a lot of like stuttering and it was really bad. I was like, oh crap, is this just gonna crap out on me like old Telltale games did? It stopped after a little bit, but there was like a little bit of panic there for a moment. Um, the story itself, apparently, this is a prequel to the show that's on Sci-Fi. I have no idea what's going on there, so I'm just like kind of playing
It's
it. And
really weird that this is their first game back.
yeah, like how many
I
people did they really expect to be like The Expanse? I gotta play that. Like
Yeah,
I've never
exactly.
heard of this.
Like,
Yeah,
even if they did another Walking Dead one that was like a spin-off, right?
hmm
I think that that would probably have gotten a lot more people to play it than this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have
People know
no
what The Walking Dead is.
like I love Telltale games because of the episodic factor of it, right? Where
hmm
like you could sit down, play an hour and a half, 2 hours, finish an episode, and then come back, next day, next week, whenever. But like the fact that this game is like about something that I know nothing about, and like just watching the few minutes I have here, it doesn't look like something that interests me really.
No,
But if they just attached any IP to it that sounds interesting, or like so, if it was like Telltale series, Fast and Furious story, something stupid like that, I'd be in.
that would work. Yeah, yeah. They really need to do stuff that people know. Uh, no one knows The Expanse. I mean, how many people can you think of off the top of your head that watch sci-fi religiously?
That when you said sci-fi, I was like, oh, that's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's The Walking Dead made sense. Borderlands made sense. Like these are all series that people would
John,
know.
The Expanse started airing in 2015.
Wow. Okay.
There's
Is
6
it
seasons.
is it
It
still going?
ended it ended in 2022.
Well, like, is the show done, or is it just that's when the most recent season came out?
I think that it's done.
So weird, man. Apparently, the person you play as in this game is voiced by the same actress that played her in the show, and I gotta say, I hate her voice. I hate the voice acting from all the characters in this game, and all of them are not likable. Um, they're it's I there's not really much reason to get into this in all honesty.
It
I'll be
reminds
right.
me a lot of you remember that game Defiance?
I remember the idea of Defiance, and I
Uh,
think it
so
failed pretty fast.
yeah, Defiance was a I don't know what it was for. I think it was a TV show, and it correlated with a video game that came out.
The video
And
game like decided how the story in the show would go, or
supposedly,
yeah,
like what players in the game did was going to affect certain aspects of the show. And I don't know that it was alive long enough for that to ever happen. But
yeah.
yeah, Defiance happened, and then I think they remade Defiance on the Xbox One. Like they came out with like a
No, they
Defiance.
didn't.
Yeah, I think so. Defiance remaster, Defiance remake. Yeah, Defiance 2050.
Defiance 2050 is a reimagined version of the original Defiance game. Tryon World's collaborative effort with a TV show with the same. Yeah, wow. Apparently, wait. So I'm scrolling down here. The very, you know how Google like puts in videos in their search results too. The very first video that comes up, worst MMO ever,
Yeah,
Defiance
I saw that.
2050.
Yeah, I
uh,
which is crazy. I can't believe that game got a.
and that 2050 shut down on it shut down in 2021, so it failed again.
It failed like within a year.
hmm Man, that's crazy. Um, yeah, The Expanse. Unless you're a huge sci-fi fan, uh, I'm very happy for all five of you out there. Um, I don't, I don't think you need to play this Telltale game. I'm just ready for The Wolf Among Us 2. You played that one, right?
Nope.
Oh, I do recommend The Wolf Among Us. That game is great. Other games I've been playing, of course, Overwatch 2. The Invasion update is coming out in 2 weeks, I want to say.
That
That's
that's
bringing
that's when that's like a big update, right?
That's all. That's the first three story missions are being added to the game. They're also adding a new game mode along with a new map to play in PvP. It looks kind of like Hardpoint from Call of Duty, where the point like moves
Yeah.
all around. That's what it looks like. I'm very excited for that.
Are those
Uh,
story missions co-op?
yes, it's like
Oh, nice.
Left 4 Dead, pretty much.
Oh, cool. I'm down.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk about that more soon. Um, what else have I been playing? I played a little bit of Twist Metal. I already talked about that earlier. That game is rough, but man, I love that series. Uh, yeah, that's about all I've got right now. I haven't been playing much lately. There's not. I've completely fallen off Diablo 4. Let's talk a little bit about Diablo because I really have no interest in going back at the moment. And I don't know why. I love Diablo 3. I put tons of hours into it. Diablo 4 is just not catching me. Maybe it's because I've been playing as a sorcerer and they're just not good. Apparently, they're the worst characters in the game and they got nerfed even more, so they're just not great right now. Maybe I need to try a new character. But when you make a new character, do you have to run through the entire story again?
No, not if you already beat the story.
Okay. So then where does it pick up? Does it pick up where I left off with my other character?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wait, did
Well,
you beat
maybe.
the story on your
Yeah,
character?
yeah. I beat the
Okay,
story.
then yeah, I think that's the ideal situation to start a new character then.
Okay. Because I don't know what's going on with the season one stuff. I really don't care. I
Yeah, I have
just
no idea. I haven't
I
even
just
played at all.
I just wanna play it, waste some time, but I don't know. Maybe I'll try a new character and I'll have more fun then. I just really love playing as a sorcerer in Diablo 3 and just not feeling it in 4, I guess. Yeah, anything else to talk about?
No, I think that's gonna do it for episode 237 of the Pixel Street podcast. John, can you wrap this up? I got a cough.
All right. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Did you know that you can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street? And if you look in the description of this show, no matter where you're watching or listening to us, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, I think, or is it just Apple Podcasts? It might be Apple Podcasts.
Apple
Uh,
Podcasts.
all the podcast platforms, look in the description and you should see a link to join our Discord channel. You can talk about anything with us. We'll be your therapist for the day. Is it really hot outside and you hate it? I do. I am not a fan of this heat. If you are living somewhere where it's a little cooler, I heard in Washington it's like 75 degrees right now, and I'm very jealous. Show us pictures of your dog. Come and chat with us. We would love to have you. Outside of that, Joel, where can the people find you?
You can find me on twitter.com/Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63.
I am John Hansen. You can find me on Twitter at Rivik Shadows. I also got on Blue Sky. Someone gave me an invite to that. Art Damien gave me an invite to that. That's the name Joel will know.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I'm just John Hansen on there. I didn't put Rivik Shadows. So yeah, follow me if you want. I don't know what I'm doing on there. My head's in the clouds though. See what I did there? Blue sky. All right. Oh, you can also find my writing on gamesandwich.com. You can hear me bash The Expanse when I put that out tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.